Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Sparks by Vino Vonk. I have a very special guest from France, from the Champagne region. His name is Gauthier Monmarthe. Gauthier, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
And
Welcome.
thank you very much for sending me these two brilliant wines. This wine is the Solera Blanc de Meunier. I saw it by somebody tasting it on Instagram, and I thought, okay, I want to taste it. I want to hear the story. So I reached out, and here we are. But before we taste these wines, could you tell me something about yourself? Who are you, and what do you do?
To present a little me and the estate, Montmartre Estate, it's a family estate. So now since 7 generations. So we are owner of our vineyard. So we are independent wine grower. So we don't buy grapes and we don't sell it. So we just use our own grapes. We are located in Ludes. 80% of our vineyard is located in Ludes. So and 10% in Deze, just another village on the side of Ludes. So that's why all our champagne are Champagne Premier Cru. So it's a very beautiful terroir for our champagne. We use for three classic varieties you found in Champagne, the Pinot Noir, the Pinot Meunier, and a little bit of Chardonnay. So me, I'm just arrived now 5 years ago on the estate after some studies of wine, the oenologist part, and also the wine business part in Bordeaux, and also 1 year of vinification in South Africa.
That's a
After
great
5
journey.
years, yeah, also that's why it's very important for me to see other vineyards around the world and to have more experience across the wine industry around the world. And so after I came back to the family estate also to take over the family business. So I worked with my father and my mother on the estate, and yeah, it's totally a family business together. And now currently I work with my father and my teams in the vineyard and the cellar to make the wine. And also my part is to develop the cell around the world and also in France. So that's now I try to develop also my type of vinification, also the new fashion I think of vinification for champagne growers. And that's why now we have a new range of single vineyard plots. So one terroir, one plot, one type of vinification. So, and we have two examples together to taste it, one Blanc de Meunier and one complanted plot, vintage 18.
Sounds very interesting. So you're working on the traditional side, but you're also working on the innovation side, and you want to have more visibility around the world. You just came back from Wine Paris. How was the wine fair?
I think it was a very good wine fair. Currently, the wine industry, it's a little bit difficult because the consumption of a wine, I think, decreased in France and also in the world. But we saw a lot of clients, a lot of good consumer, and I think it was a busy one, very busy wine fair. So we hope now in the future this contact and this prospection arrive with some orders in the future to develop also the consumption and our champagne. Um, so now I think it was a very busy wine fair and with good affair, and for all the region because we saw a lot of people around the fair.
Yeah, and did you only did you also have the time to taste some wines yourself?
Yeah, this wine fair. It's a good occasion to see all your friends around each region, from Provence, from Bordeaux, from also other regions. So yeah, we try to take some every day, sometimes to taste and to see other friends, and also it's like this to find new clients. It's with your link to try. Maybe you search a new market or new Nordic market or Asia market, and with some people you can meet, and sometimes it's like this. Oh, come to my stand I would like to discover your estate and try your champagne. So sometimes try to find new market like this also. So I think it's very important thing.
Yeah, it's very important. And your wines, are they available in the Netherlands already?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we since 2 years ago we have a new partners for for the restaurants, and it's Vinetic, specialized in cold vineyard, and yeah, it's our new partner since 2 years ago now.
Okay, yeah, and they're available in the Netherlands and also Belgium. So you have two
Yeah, exactly.
countries close to you also. And but you're the eighth, the seventh or the eighth generation?
I'm a seven.
The seven.
My father is the sixth one,
Yeah.
and
When did you start in making champagne? The first generation.
it was the first generation was only owner of vineyards, so it was during the 19th century. And my grandfather begins to the brand of Montmartre at the beginning of the 20th century, in the same time of all the wine growers develop own brand. Um, so in between the 1920, something like this.
Yeah, and it's very early. It's one of the oldest uh, vigneron champagne makers. Then
We have a lot of wine growers. They have owner of vineyards now since 1 or 2 century, because in the past it was you are viticulture and also in agriculture. So that's why we have a lot of people as some um, vineyard and agricultural part to make more cereal or something like this. So that's why a lot of wine growers at the vineyard since 1 or 2 century.
yeah, and you still work with your father, and your father is still very much involved. But how does the dynamics look like on a day-to-day basis? Is there a clear handover happening? Is he saying, "Okay, this is your vintage, I'm out"? How does it look like?
I think it's work in family needs to be a good communication. It's to be efficient. And no, it's a working team. I think it's a modern person, and he try to understand my new vision also. But I don't forget he has the experience. He has the experience of a vineyard and of lots of vintage. So I think it's very important to work together, and we have different idea and different, I think, good idea, and the goal is to make a new wine. Now that's why also we have two range. The first range is the art of the blending. It's the blending. I think it's the champagne. The blending represents the champagne. It's blending different harvests, blending different grape varieties, and also now we have this a new range represent more with a Burgundy style, with my generation of new winemakers for with like a little bit in Burgundy, who we try to release some wine to represent a terroir, a vintage, a type of vinification. So for us, it was very important to have these two vision of a champagne. We like to say maybe the first one it's more my father range, and the second one was more mine. But I think the one was totally complete. This single plot cuvée, it's more for time, more for champagne dinner. It's more gastronomic champagne. But the first one, it's more of a champagne aperitif champagne. It's a little bit more young. You have more freshness, and I think for 90% of the people, that is champagne. So it's important to have this two vision and this two different type of champagne.
Yeah, and did you develop this vision during your work around the world? And what is the most important thing you brought back home from your work all around the world?
Um, I think it's different type of vinification, and to also to understand each terroir is very different. It's well, I was very surprised, for example, in South Africa, who in the state where they work with between 10 and 20 different grape varieties. It was very, very different. And for US market or UK market, you put more grape varieties in first. And in Champagne, we are more on the terroir style, and we put more the village or the terroir or the estates in first. It was very different to learn this other vision. And I think during my studies, I understand the vision of okay, you have a new vision of winemaking because you are young, but the the ancestry of the champagne is the blending, and I think it's important to have it. To don't forget your older clients, the clients of my grandfather, the clients of my father. They are usual to this product, and it's important to have it. And also, it's each champagne are for one moment, and for aperitif, it's more a one, maybe a brut not vintage, but for a pairing with seafood, you can make an extra brut to a champagne rosé, and but more for champagne dinner. Now it's not only wine; we have also wine from Champagne with this single plot vineyard.
And you grew up there, so you learned a lot in your young years. And what was the most surprising thing that you learned during your younger years? And after that, you traveled around the world. What was the most surprising thing that you found out that is completely different than what you saw in your younger years?
I think it was the what we are very lucky to have to sell the product, and his name is Champagne. When you travel a little bit across the world, you don't realize that Champagne is Champagne, and all the people know this product, and it's a very famous brand. It's the first brand you know, and I think it's very important to travel to understand that to represent this name. And I think you realize when you say, "Well, I'm from Champagne," all the people say, "Oh wow, incredible for us!" And when you are very easy to bring at a dinner or lunch a bottle of champagne, and for all people, champagne represents just the party and or maybe a very festive party like this, and for you it's more common, and you can drink champagne every day at every time, and it's we are more when you have wine growers, it's very easy for you to bring a bottle, and it's very cool to share with some people when they are don't drink a lot, and it's sometimes it's very rare to drink it, and it's a very
Yeah,
pleasure to open it with this type of people.
yeah, it's a very special kind of wine, and a lot of people
Yeah,
uh, don't drink it as much because it's not as it sometimes it could be very expensive
yeah.
compared to uh, uh, a non-sparkling wine. Before we go into the terroir and your village, shall we open up the first bottle?
Okay, pleasure.
Yeah, and shall we start with the extra brut Le Nid d'Agache?
Yeah.
Yeah, and uh, d'Agache. What does it mean? Is that the name of the plot?
Yeah, exactly. So le nid d'Agas means so it's the name of a plot. So we need to put this name on the bottle. It's very important. Agas, it's a bird. It's a magpie. But it's a magpie night. But that's the name of the plot. So here it's a vintage 18. Um, so we keep it between 6 and 7 years on lease. Um, it's a plot. It's a plot of 1 hectares. Um, it's a blend of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So what I say, it's a plot complementing between Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, but on top of the plot, it's a very older Chardonnay. It's a plot of 60 years old. And at the back, more on clay soil. Just, it's young, it's young Pinot Noir. And we blend it at the press, so we pick up together and we blend it in the press. And after it's a vinification in wood cask, so in big folders, during 9 months.
And in that way, you get a very rich and full-bodied nose also.
Yeah, it's a very rich because we have Pinot Noir on clay, so we become roundness and richness. And it's a very old Chardonnay, so it's more elegant and a very minerality Chardonnay, more on the acidity part.
And how long did it stay on the lease?
So it's 6 years, 6 years on lease. This bottle was disgorged in February 2025. We didn't know if we have the same. Normally it's the same.
I have December 2024.
Okay, so you have a more older than me disgorgement. So we try to have to release the bottle 6 months after disgorgement. For me, it's a very important thing, and they change a lot of tasting. The step of the disgorgement now stress a lot of the wine, and you need 6 months after disgorgement to be calm before to release it, and also to take more of the roundness and the richness of the wine.
Yeah, the wine has to recover after disgorgement because there's a lot of happening in during and after the disgorgement, of course. Let's taste it, Santé.
Cheers.
It's very full-bodied. I see on the label it's extra brut, but you don't feel the harsh acidity. It's very round, it's very rich, and a lot of cookie dough, vanilla cookies, cloves, lots of herbs like rosemary and thyme, and also cream and butter and toastiness. It's very complete, and it's very surprising because it's fresh, but at the same time it's very full and rich. It's not very good in balance also.
That's my goal in the wine. I like a lot of the texture in the wine, and that's why I try in my wine to find a full body. I like when the wine take all the mouth, and it's very interesting because on this wine we block the malolactic acidity, so we keep the freshness. Its freshness can be used like a natural conservator to keep it in time. That's why we keep it between 6 and 7 years on lease. And also the blend of the Pinot Noir on clay bring the richness and the warmness, and we have something take over mouth, and that's I like in the wine.
Yeah. So the freshness doesn't come only about the dosage because it's extra brut, but it's also about you blocking the malolactic fermentation.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. And let's talk about the terroir. You're in Ludes, that's a village that is Premier Cru. It's on the north face of the Montagne de Reims. You have 17 hectares, I found out, in 22 parcels. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. It's correct. It's a big vineyard for wine growers. I'm very lucky to have it, and it's a good vineyard to play and to express all the winemakers I try to be, and so we have a lot of big plots, and because we are a family estate, and that's why we can keep generation after generation this vineyard to elaborate our family champagne. So and Lude terroir, it's a more chalk terroir. So we are in north face of Lude. So now for us, the north face of Lude change a little bit with the climate change because we have better ripeness with the climate change. So we are north on the south, so just behind the mountain of Ambonnet and Bouzy. So they're usually very better ripeness than us. But now with the north face, we have better ripeness, but we keep also the freshness. So it's very cool for us. We found a new balance between more ripeness and a good acidity with the freshness or chalk in our soil.
So, so,
So
so
I have a lot.
yes, so you have a lot of chalk, but also a lot of
Yeah.
clay. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes mostly on top of Goto, we have a lot of chalk. Sometimes directly it's just chalk, and sometimes we are a little soil of clay before the chalk, and after it depends of the size of the soil. But yeah, so we have these two different soil, but it's mostly at 70%, definitely more chalk in our terroir.
Yeah, and that combination gives also a lot of like a minerality and freshness in the wines.
Yeah, I think I like to say it's the signature of our wine. It's just the point of the minerality at the end of the mouth. I think it's a little bit the signature of Ludes in at the end of each wine. We have just this point to remember, this point of minerality. Uh, I like, and also on sometimes varieties you find the salinity. Um, but here we have very this broadness and just at the end the freshness and the point of minerality to say okay, it's the terroir of it. We have some
Yeah,
chalk.
yeah, and you work very clean. And how do you? Could you tell me something about the fermentation process? Do you produce your own yeast, or is it industrial yeast, spontaneous fermentation?
So it's a classic yeast. It's not natural yeast. That's a new project in the future. What I can increase our level. That's the goal. Now it's sometimes I'm maybe so young to try this type of experience with natural yeast because it's sometimes very dangerous for the wine, and we need to control everything. But that's it's a natural yeast, and maybe it's a project in the future. I would like to just to see the difference between this classic yeast and the natural yeast from the grapes.
Yeah, and on the bottle I saw you are also HVE certified. So that means it's a little step lower than biodynamic, but it's very
Like
yeah,
biologic agriculture. So HVE, it's mean high environmental value. It's an engagement from my father now from 15 years ago. It's huge. We are not biologic agriculture, but you try to work in intelligent way. So we don't apply some um, synthesis product, but if we need it and if the harvest is in danger, we try to use it. Sometimes I can make the example of last year. So 2025 was a good year for vintage with warm weather. So we don't have a lot of disease. So we make not a lot of treatments, only on 9 treatments, and only one with a synthesis product, just to protect around the blooming. But at the end, it's a biological product around the season,
yeah,
during the season.
and and you are also part of the vigneron in a pedal movement. Could you tell me something about that?
Yeah, it's a syndicat. It's a group of wine growers. It means when you are independent vigneron, so independent wine growers, you say I don't buy grapes, so I use only grapes from my vineyard. So I can prove on my on my clients, on my consumer. So I can control all the task and all the quality in the vineyard of my grapes for my champagne. So I'm not a negotiant. So we don't buy it. So I can control since the planting of the vineyards until the harvest. We made and we control all the quality of the grapes.
And so you make the wine, you bottle the wine, you do the disgorgement yourself, you make the liqueur de triage, the liqueur de expédition. You make everything yourself, but it's very hard process to do that. But how many bottles do you produce every year?
So it's the main character of a family to be independent. We try to make everything ourselves. So that's why we control the disgorgement line, what we say, and also that's why we produce a big production for wine growers. So it's 140,000 bottles per year. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
So it's for wine growers, it's bigger, but in against big houses and big brands, you are nothing. But
No.
but for wine growers, it's bigger. That's why it's very important to make a lot of things ourselves. And also that I like in this job, you can go to a vineyard, after to the cellar, and at the end you can travel around the world to sell your products for your family and your estate.
Yeah, because you have a lot of vineyards, it's a lot of work. You don't do it only by yourself and with your father. I guess, but how many people do you work with?
Sure. So we are so with my father we have a team of 6 people to work with us in the vineyard and also in the cellar. So all the people and all the teams are polyvalent to drive tractors or to go to the cellar. So that's we like also in our states. If the raining is it's weather is not good, we can go to work in the cellar. And if we have some work in the vineyard, we go to the vineyard. So every time we have something to do.
Yeah, but during harvest you don't only work with 6 people, I guess.
No, in the harvest. So we have 70 pickers from the north of France. We keep this tradition. So all the people come to the estate and they sleep in the estates. We have a lot of room just behind the cellar, and all the people live on the estate during 10 days. So it's like a school during 10 days, but it's very funny. And I think it's the traditions. It's very important to keep these traditions for us. So it's very funny because 70 people sleep, eat, and live on the estate during 10 days. So it's very funny.
Yeah, it's a nice tradition also. But you say 10 days, but you have a lot of different parcels. Uh, I could imagine that some parcels are earlier to pick and some parcels are later to pick. And how do you do that coordination? Because it's not centered by itself. It's very far away from each other.
Yeah, we are lucky to have all the vineyards around our village. Also, it's also very rare in Champagne. We have 90% of the vineyard around the estates. Normally in Champagne, each wine grower has a lot of vineyards across the Côte des Blancs, in Vallée de la Marne, in Montagne de Reims. Here we have all in Ludes, so it's very rare. And so for us, it's easier to harvest it around us. And also we try to have a better ripeness. So mostly we begin by the Meunier generally, after the Pinot Noir or Chardonnay Pinot Noir. It depends of the ripeness. It depends of the year, but and it depends of the yield. But we make around between 9 and 12 days of harvest with all the pickers.
And it all depends on how much you can harvest,
Yeah,
of course, and how
it's
much you how much the Comité du Champagne says you could harvest, because there's always a maximum of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very important question now in Champagne, because for us, each year is different. It depends on what they decide the interprofession in Champagne, so the CIVC, and it depends on the sale of the last year. So it's a meeting between all the syndicats from Champagne, so the wine growers, the wine merchants, and the cooperative, and they try to find the perfect yield to control the offer and the demand. So they also they can also control the brand of champagne and the production for the next year. It's important to keep to keep the production and to control the demand between against the offer of the champagne. But that's why now the yield decrease a little bit, because the sale around the world are decreased a little bit also.
Yeah. So the yields was was a bit lower than last year's, but what do you do with the grapes that you can't use for the champagne?
It's very easy. You leave it in the vineyard. You don't have a right to do something with it. Just you can pick it, but it's for the distillation. So some people pick it for the distillation to deliver it for the distillation, or some people pick it and leave it in the vineyard on the soil. You don't have the choice.
And do you also make Coteau Champenoise?
Not yet. I think I'm a little bigger to do this thing, and also I would like to see also the ripeness in the future on my vineyard, to be sure to, because I think when I'm make a Coteau Champenois, we need a very beautiful ripeness at 12, 13 degrees. Last year we can do it. Yeah, because we have in 2025 very beautiful ripeness. But I would like to see the climate, the climate and the warm weather in the future on each vintage, to see maybe I launch a project of Coteau.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the second wine, and
Okay.
this is a very fascinating wine for me, because I saw it, tasting. Somebody tasted on Instagram, and I saw it was made of a Solera system, only
Yeah.
with Pinot Meunier. And I thought, okay, a Solera system. I know from Jerez, from sherry. I know some champagne makers use a perpetual reserve, but I never heard of it that they only use it for Pinot Meunier. So it says on the label not Blanc de Noir, but Blanc de Meunier. So you know exactly, okay, this is a Blanc de Noir only
Yeah.
made from Meunier. But
Exactly.
could you tell me something about it, and then I will open it up.
Uh, it was a project for us. Normally, Ludes in first has more Meunier than Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So that's why we have between 30 and 40% of our vineyards planting in Meunier grape varieties. So each harvest, I have a lot of Meunier, and to complete my wine, we have a Blanc de Noir, a Blanc de Blanc. I would like to make a Blanc de Meunier, so 100% Meunier, and it was a reflection with my family, especially my father, to find the best ways of vinification for these grape varieties. Normally, we know of Meunier de la Loire more, Meunier from Vallée de la Marne. It's more on clay soil. Here on Lude, it's Meunier on chalk, so it's different expressions. And I like the perpetual reserve for the Solera method for this cuvée, because each year you bring new wine, you bring freshness, and I think it's very important to keep the freshness from these grape varieties. The character of a Meunier for me on short, it's the fruits. It's a very beautiful purity of fruits. and also it's the lightness, and that's this system. It's very interesting because you can keep um, the complexity and the vinosity of the Meunier in the tank. So, but each year you bring the freshness to bring this fruity part and this freshness in the wine. That's why I think this Solera method, it's a very good and interesting type of vinification for this cuvée. So now it's a young Solera. So we begin it. It's in 2015. So they had only 7 years. The first release was a blend of 70% of Solera and 30% of Harvest 22. So it's a Solera of 7 years, and the first results are very interesting because it's a definition of fruits. It's just fruits on chalk, and at the end, my very surprise things, we don't need sugar at all. That's why it's a brut nature. It's a zero dosage, um, because I think for me we have enough sugar with these fruity parts, these very fruity aromas. So we found a very beautiful balance with a brut nature dosage.
And you only make 4188 41 and 88 bottles, so it's
Yeah,
very very small. This one
yeah,
is
it's very small.
this one is also discovered in December 2024, and right away when I opened it up, a lot of orange blossom, jasmine, and a lot of fruits. But normally you don't have a lot of red fruit. But I also had a lot of strawberries and raspberries, and after, when I sniff, I also have some uh, blueberries and cassis vibes. Again, with lots of herbs, cookie dough, vanilla. Uh, does the vanilla and the cookie dough come from? Is it aged in oak also?
As the perpetual reserve is keeping the most older of the tank. It's a concrete tank in the cellar. It's a tank of my grandfather, so it's the older tank of the States. And I think the concrete tank is the best way to keep also the temperature and the freshness and the fruity part. So no, it's not in the wood, but I try to put a little bit the vinification in barrels with 30% of the harvest of the year.
Yeah, and what do you like yourself so much about this wine? Because it's surprisingly different than the other wine, but you have the same identity of your hand in it.
I like the fruits. For me, it's a very definition of just the fruit. And also you have a little bit the texture. It's not enough on the lightness. It's not very light, but you have also something in the mouth for Meunier, so it's a very good thing, and you have a very beautiful freshness along the mouth, and I like this taste of Meunier, and it's funny because Meunier now 10 years or 20 years ago was the bad grape varieties from Champagne, and now with also the climate change and better ripeness, we can make very beautiful things in vinification with these grape varieties. So it's a very beautiful things, and I'm very happy to complete also my new wine with this Blanc de Meunier. I can propose now a totally complete vision of terroir of Ludes with a Pinot Noir, a Blanc de Blanc, a Meunier, and a complanting plot. It's a very beautiful vision of a terroir of Ludes, and for all my clients and my partner, when I can present, look, you have 4 cuvées, that's my terroir.
Yeah, yeah, it's very lovely. It's outstanding to me, but I also like it's not only fresh fruit, but it's also some dried fruit, dried apricots, and some dried cherries. Also, it's very complicated. Of not complicated. It's very complex. but complex in a very nice way. It's accessible. A lot of people will like it, but when you taste it again and again, you find new layers also. Yeah, it's very it surprised me because normally 100 Meunier champagne could be a little bit linear. You have blossom, fruit, apple, and that's it.
I
And
think
this is
that's why the perpetual reserve is very important. I think to bring every year approximately 30% of the tank on new wine. You can keep the freshness and also a medium body in the wine. I think that's why it was. I'm really happy to work this cuvée in Solera method for these grape varieties. It's a very beautiful expression of the Meunier, and yeah, it's very interesting, and I'm really happy also to discover in the future this cuvée, because each year you bring a little bit more complexity in the wine, because each year you bring a new harvest. So each year so currently we have 7 different harvests in the glass, but in the future the goal is to bring it maybe 20, 30, 40 years, different years in the harvest in the glass. So that I'm very excited also in the future to taste it.
and how long do you think the perpetual reserve will be alive? Because or you don't know, but what do you think?
I think we can keep it a maximum of time. It's if my goal is to keep it in along my long career, I would like to discover each year the different how the tank with the new harvest can be tasted, and it's very I would like to keep it in a long time in this tank. The tank doesn't move. It's sure, because in the cellar, and it's impossible to move it. And so I would like to keep it, the maximum of the time to also to taste it.
Yeah, and what was your father's reaction when he tasted this?
It was very. He said very interesting things for us. Two things to make 100% Meunier. It's a new thing for him, and also for his generation of winemaking, of winemakers, and also to make zero dosage. Because now, since 10 years or 20 years ago, only brut, extra brut, and brut nature doesn't exist. Um, so it's these two new things together. It was okay. It's very good things, very fruity parts, and I think now our consumer like the new tastes for all the people, prefer also the wine enthusiasts prefer extra brut and brut nature. So it's very interesting. And when we taste with some friends, a lot of people say, okay, it's very interesting wine, and it was a good surprise for all the family.
Yeah, and it's a very nice surprise also, I guess. But
Thank you.
you are relatively new in your role. Did you change a lot of things during since you arrived? And are there things you've introduced that wouldn't have been there before?
I don't change a lot of things because I'm not a young people. So you have already a team here, and also my father is here now since 40 years ago. So he has his techniques, and all the people are usual to do something like this. And I think you just arrive. You just need to arrive and to bring your idea to discuss each idea. And maybe we can do like this. You can do like this. The major changement we do together, it's this new range of single plots, and so we bring maybe more wood in the cellar. We bought some barrels, but 600 liters barrels, and a big wood cask, it was a discussion between us, and we don't want buy small barrels because we don't like my father and me the wood taste in champagne. I think it's more for Burgundy wine, definitely white, and that's why I like a lot of um, the wood cask for vinification. So a fruiteuse, because you don't have the wood taste on the wine, but you bring the vinosity and the gastronomic part of the wine. And I think it's for us, it's enough for the elaboration of champagne. That's the major changement. It's a little bit bring a little bit more wood in the wine, and maybe in the future to bring concrete eggs also for to bring more fruits on with the lees. That's also we have a lot of projects.
Yeah, that could be very interesting because the concrete eggs, because they have a little bit of micro oxidation, but
Yeah.
because of the shape of it, during the fermentation, the molecules are changing or are dancing in a round way, and when the shape is rounder, they can dance around the vessel. Also, I learned.
Yeah, and I would like to taste also this concrete eggs, for example, for Meunier, because you have a beautiful more contact between lees and wine, and I think for fruity varieties, it could be very interesting.
Yeah, and what are your plans for the coming years? Let's say in 10 years, how do you see Montmartre changes, or where will you be there then?
I think it's very important to keep Montmartre his first philosophy. The first philosophy it's a family estates. So it's very important to keep it. And for example, our first Breton vintage, the name is Family Secrets, the cuvée Secret Famille. So it's the family means a lot of in the estate. So uh, keep this mind and also this family mood, and in future also to increase the quality of the second range, the single plot cuvée. Uh, in this job you need to be patient. Sometimes it's difficult for me because you make a wine after you leave it during 4, 5, 6 years and before to taste it. And I have a new Blanc de Blanc since 21. I have a new Blanc de Noir since 22. So I need to be wait a little bit more to taste it and to release it. So I think new things also in the future can be released. So on this range, and also every year is different, and you need to be adapt in the vineyard or in the cellar. So for example, with a climate change, we need to adapt every time for walks in the vineyard. So each year is very different, and I don't know where we go, uh, where we
Oh,
can go in the future with our job, but
it
we
depends
can
on
go,
nature.
and yeah, it depends a lot of nature. Each day is different. In each day, you look your weather and you say, okay, what we can do. It depends a lot of the nature and the weather. So
Yeah, a
we
lot
live a
of
little
people,
bit
a,
one day by one day.
yeah, a lot of people say, okay, climate change isn't real, but well, you look outside and it is real. But a lot of people also say, oh, well, it won't be cold for a very long time in Europe. But no, well, the couple of weeks, months, it was very cold here in the Netherlands. I think it was also very cold in Champagne. You also had some snow. So let's hope it will be more calm and relaxed and stable. Uh, do you want to add something? What question didn't I ask you that you were expecting?
No, nothing. It was very interesting. These conversations. I'm before my job of winemaking. I am a totally wine enthusiast, and I like to drink a lot of wine with all my friends to share a lot of bottles of each region around the world. So it was very, very interesting discussion together. And I hope a lot of people can taste my wine. And it's very important to have each opinions. It's also like this, we can increase the quality of our wine. So don't hesitate to say your opinions. It's for your winemaker or like me, it's very interesting to have a lot of opinions. And it was a pleasure. It was a very beautiful pleasure, and I hope you enjoy my new wine and my new cuvée. And
I really enjoyed it, and
thank you so
we'll
much.
do a deep dive after our recording without lots of things happening. Gauthier, thank you very much for your time. Thank you again for sending me these 2 bottles. If you are in the Netherlands
Pleasure.
or in Belgium, go find Vinetique. You can find the contact details in the show notes, and the show,
Okay,
and
great.
also
Thank
the contact details of Champagne Monmarthe. Gauthier, thank you very much for your time, and
Pleasure.
don't forget to try this champagne. It's really lovely. And see you next time
Thank you so
on a
much,
new
Jaron.
episode. Have a nice day, and thank you very much. And see you next time on the new episode of Sparks by Vino Vonk. My name is Jeroen. See you next time.
Thanks, Jaron. Thank you so much.